Hopefully you are ready to talk some football today, fantasy football. And as always, the show's live. We're here. Hopefully taking care of you guys on all your needs in the football aspect of things. Today is April 5th, and just for that one, we're just letting you guys know what the day is. I'm sure you already know. Hopefully you know it's already 5:30 in the afternoon. If you don't know,
now you know.
Now you know. God, I sound like somebody, don't I?
It's
before we get into everything, I just want to ask you guys to please like, subscribe, share the videos. If you don't do that, there's no way for us to get out there. There's no way for us to get a little bit better. And also comment. If you don't comment, we don't know what you guys want. We don't know what you need. We're trying to figure out what we can for you guys and maybe give some type of entertaining show. If you want us to start getting in fisticuffs back here, we'll find a way.
My money's on.
It's not hard to do.
On me.
Should always bet on you. Should always bet on yourself.
Always bet on red.
Always bet on yourself.
Unless you're Calvin Ridley.
But before we get into everything today, as always, you have me over here, KJAM, your local truck driver that has no life outside of football, work, and family. So then you also have my wonderful loyal guest over here,
co-host. What's up, everybody?
also known as Silent Death when in chat, Wheels. And then, as always, let's not forget about our amazing skeptic of the show, pushing buttons and on the mic.
Very skeptical, huh?
Button pusher, you.
Welcome, everybody.
All right, let's get into it today. Let's talk about the news, what's going on in the offseason. First things first, Michael Woods torn
This is how we do.
All
right, now let's get into it. Michael Woods tore his Achilles. I was talking about him recently. He is a sophomore wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. I was really looking forward to the connection that he had with Deshaun Watson, and I was telling you about this. Looks like somebody has to step up now.
It looks like quite the sophomore slump for
David
him.
Bell. Where you at?
So, as you look at our wide receiver room now, obviously, so Amari Cooper is the number one, and then number two is, in my opinion right now, Elijah Moore and DPJ, and then David Bell is going to have to step up, and you still have Marquise Goodwin, and you have who's our other kick returner that was out?
Jakeem Grant.
Yeah, Jakeem Grant. Thank you.
Right.
Schwartz doesn't count.
Schwartz doesn't even count. Well, he might have made a roster spot because of the Michael Woods.
I hope not. I traded him for $1 in fantasy.
But so that being said, also I had something else in the news which I saw. The Browns are reaching out to a first-round prospect in DeJuan Jones. They talked to him and they visited him, and to me that one's a little odd unless there's trades going to be made. And to be honest, I'm okay trading Conklin for Jones.
I'm going to trade.
Conklin can just leave, and I don't know why they signed him.
I can trade Conklin.
Speaking of Mike Woods, he just tweeted saying his surgery was successful. Thank you all, teammates, fans, family, coaches, reporters, and supporters for his prayers and love. I'm already enough pity. Time to work. Appreciate y'all.
All right, that's awesome, and I hope him the best.
Forward.
I hope him the best because I think the kid was doing great, and he was drafted in like the 6th round. So
he only had 5 catches for 45 yards last year.
Yeah, I know, but when you watch the games, it felt different. There was a connection between him and Deshaun Watson.
Watson
it felt
definitely looked his way as a I don't want to say
it was a safety valve. It was a safety valve, which is what which is what Amari was supposed to be.
Right. Yeah.
Which I hope is more so the case now.
So that being said, let's talk about another guy, which apparently Johnny's been jonesing to talk about him all day. Seemingly is probably going to lose his job or get traded, and that is Mac Jones.
So,
what's that tweet say, Johnny?
So, head coach, general manager Bill Belichick has shopped 2021 first-round pick quarterback Mac Jones to multiple teams during the 2023 off-season, per Pro Football Talk.
I was going to say that was per Pro Football Talk. I hope that's not ML Sports.
Yeah, the full list of potential destinations isn't known. The teams mentioned as potential destinations are the Raiders, the Texans, Buccaneers, and Commanders.
Baker and Mac.
They won't. The Buccaneers won't get him.
There's a guy.
Quote, things aren't going well between Patriots coach Bill Belichick and quarterback Mac Jones.
There's a guy that I watch that does all those comedy things. I send those videos out to you guys all the time.
Yeah.
And he did one of Mac Jones calling Baker now his stepbrother. It's freaking hilarious because Mac Jones is the son of Tom Brady. And Baker now is following in Tom Brady's shoes.
Which is funny because Baker sat at Brady's table for the 100th anniversary commercial.
And he held all the rings.
Yes. So...
He's still holding rings. He's not going to get one.
Yeah, maybe a ring pop.
Yeah, I mean, so you have that. The Cardinals, this is the most exciting news coming out of that camp, are changing their jerseys supposedly in 2023. That is per multiple sources.
And the Panthers.
Is that confirmed that Carolina is going to do it?
They came out later saying that they are going to unveil jerseys as well.
Sweet.
And
C.J. Stroud is going to be in a brand new jersey.
But speaking with Arizona, that it's a strong possibility that DeAndre Hopkins will be cut.
Yeah, I forgot we haven't talked about that.
I'm just, there's a lot of
talked about this, though.
repetitive news.
Right.
Well, we talked about how D-Hop's, there's no value.
No, there's not. Because
There's zero value for a $19 million 31-year-old receiver in the NFL.
I wouldn't say zero value, but not worth the cost that he's asking for.
Because after you hit 30...
I said zero value, and then I explained what his value was asked for. And a second-round pick.
I would pay him $15 million over Odell, just saying. But
I don't disagree.
So let me ask you this.
At least one's taking PEDs to try to stay on the field.
Right.
So if he gets cut, what would you think? Do you think the Browns would be in talks with him at all, or no?
No. They just got Elijah. They have Cooper.
They got to steal.
They're going to get a wide receiver.
The fact that
we're drafting
Browns,
somebody in the. We're going to draft somebody.
You know who
year.
might is obviously the Ravens, but the Steelers could do that too, especially if Deontay Johnson has an issue. But another team that could look is, I think Houston could reach out.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't go back to Houston, Carolina. They need a better receiver.
Well, they have no wide receivers.
Right. Well, they got Thielen.
I wouldn't say Pittsburgh. I would say...
What, a 33-year-old old white guy? Yeah, it really would just games.
Why white?
What about Green Bay?
I could see...
They don't like wide receivers.
They've talked Green Bay. They've talked Carolina. And...
Houston, probably.
Mitchell what, Steven?
Schwartz?
Or maybe another wide receiver with the Browns.
Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell?
That's a running back.
I'm thinking of all the Mitchells I know. I don't get Mitchell. Is that who's signed into his YouTube account, Mitchell? Marshall.
He hasn't done anything, though.
Terrace. Well, he did. He had a good season. The only issue was it was DJ Terrace, and that was it. And I think that the quarterbacks there only threw for like a combined of 2,000 yards, and half of that was in Deontay Foreman.
They've lost. It was
DJ Moore, and then 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel was there a couple of years ago too. I mean, they've lost a lot of wide receivers, a lot of weapons. In general.
But let's move on. And other exciting news today, as a AFC fan and as a football fan in general, per sources that I have seen, the Buffalo Bills' new stadium will not be a dome. That has me excited.
I don't mind.
No Super Bowl for Buffalo.
Well, that's not even terrible.
Like they're ever going to.
You know what, Buffalo?
Right,
although it is kind of funny, just because Buffalo canceled a game this year because of the snow.
Right.
So that's kind of funny. But that is what I've seen recently. Is that the mock-ups of the new stadium? It looks like kind of like a big ass bowl. But there's no dome unless there's a retractable ceiling that I did not see.
So toilet bowl.
What I'm thinking is
it looks like a toilet bowl.
The NFL needs to come up with a system for domes or even retractables, and at a certain time you put the dome into place and you play under a dome, I think. Because the problem is you're asking these cities and the people that live in these cities to pay taxes, which their taxes are already astronomically high. So these NFL teams make enough money to where they can use domes.
No, they don't make that much money.
Yeah.
You got to spend $55 million guaranteed on a quarterback every year.
Well, maybe if you didn't run and get hurt, you wouldn't have to.
So I think that's kind of. We have anything else in news? There's one other thing, wasn't there?
The only other thing is Danny Amendola apparently has signed with the Las Vegas Raiders
as a coach.
To be an
Wide
assistant coach / special teams receiving coach. Jeez. Get your mind out of the gutter, KJ.
I need a vacation.
But that's the only other thing that I have in the news.
All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to go over fantasy rankings of quarterbacks per our mind. We're probably going to have a little bit of argument here Hopefully you give me some type of reasoning, but what we're going to do is we're going to do this in reverse because I think we'll come to more unanimous consent with the reverses. With the reverse order. So I think we're going to do it that way. So what we'll do is go quarterbacks 32 to 1, and we'll try to make the bottom 15 pretty quick. And if Steve, you agree or disagree, jump in chat if you can. And I'd like to hear your piece. So first things first for me, what I have is my worst quarterback, and I told you I had about 35 guys.
Yes.
So I have 34 actually ranked, but there's a few that are in there with my rankings. My worst quarterback in the NFL, I wouldn't even touch him with a 10-foot pole for fantasy, is Trey Lance.
Okay. Completely agree with that, yes.
And I have written as a note, we'll lose his job to Purdy when he comes back.
Okay.
And that's if Sam Darnold doesn't start the year. But technically, I have Sam Darnold ranked higher actually on my list.
Sam Darnold.
Then Purdy?
Sam Darnold's 31 for me.
No, I have Purdy ranked higher than Darnold. I have Darnold ranked lower than Purdy, but I have Darnold ranked higher than Trey Lance.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with all that.
You don't even know what I said.
But
go ahead.
Darnold, I don't think would be the starter.
Do you only have 32? You want me to go to my next one?
Yeah, do yours.
Yes.
I'll go to my next one. Okay, 33. This one's for Ryan. Gardner Minshew. I have a feeling that I expect them to draft a quarterback in the draft, and he will not get the starting job. I love Gardner, but personally, Gardner has proven that teams don't like him for some reason. They like him as a backup, and I don't get it.
Case Keenum.
I don't get it. So now this one's a fun one. At 32,
Steven's laughing.
fantasy purposes, I have Bryce Young. He's going to start on whatever team he goes to, and he's not going to have wide receivers if it's the Houston Texans.
No.
I would honestly rank him higher.
That's fine. You can.
Again, just because.
But even if he goes to Carolina, he's still 32 for me. 30. So
I don't know if he's 32 if he goes to Carolina for me. I think he would jump somewhere around the 27 mark, but
why? We just said Carolina only has Thielen compared to Houston having Brandon Cooks. Or no, they don't have Cooks.
Offensive line.
Right. Okay.
So 31, I guess, for me then would be probably Kenny Pickett as of right now.
I had 32. What do you have? You have.
Yes.
You have Bryce Young at 30?
Yes.
We have a consensus at 32? That's a weird...
I don't like the guy.
That's a weird consensus.
That's why I said whether he goes to...
This is fantasy purposes, though. I don't care if you like the guy. This is about his fantasy production. So you think he's going to be the 32nd worst starting quarterback?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just making sure we're on the same page. That's all I'm doing.
I mean, you still have Matt Corral in Carolina. Who knows if he bids him out?
Washington. Or no, that's Howell.
Yeah, that's Baker 2.0. But yeah, so 31, I have Kenny Pickett because
wow,
I was very.
He wasn't even 31 last year.
Fantasy wise,
he wasn't 31 last year.
No,
he was like 21. You got him dropping 10 spots.
Yeah, they're
and playing the whole season because Mitch played.
They haven't done
5 or 6 games last season, right?
They haven't done anything in the second or in the offensive line to help him. And
what are you talking about?
They draft.
Did I not just ask you for the offensive line signings yesterday? It's in Messenger.
Trubisky played in 7 games.
They've signed guys, yes, but nothing big that I think is going to help catapult that team up.
You are crazy. They signed Isaac Sumalo, guard, big guard too, bro. Sumalo will be good on that team. Nate Herbig, which I think that's a resignature.
Yes,
they had him last year.
Did you update the graphic for Pittsburgh?
Like how recent? Probably not the last week.
When I sent you last week?
No, I haven't touched that. But I'm just saying, like, you don't, and they might still draft a guy. So, and we have them. Don't we have them drafting a guy in the second round?
Pickett or Pittsburgh?
A guard in the second round.
I haven't taken a first-round pick at a guard.
So you have them solidifying that line in the first round.
As of right
now.
No.
It's a projection. This is as of 2023 projections.
Yeah, I'd still.
So if you think they're okay, that's fine. All right. You're crazy.
So you might as well.
But it's all right. That's all right. At 31, I have 2 quarterbacks, and they're on the same team. That's why I have 2 quarterbacks. I don't know who's going to start, and I think both of them are going to do probably the same amount. And that is Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ridder. I think they're going to be 31st quarterbacks. I just don't. For some reason, I just don't see Atlanta's offense ever taking a step forward. I don't know if it's because I'm just so used to the Matt Ryan, Roddy White, Julio Jones era. I just that offense has only gotten worse since they left.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
get
it has.
I don't get it.
In Atlanta, I mean, you have Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, I have
I mean,
31, Taylor Heineke, and Desmond Ritter because
So,
I don't know who's starting. I think Taylor Heineke's probably going
Taylor
to beat
will
out.
start.
Well, I don't know, but you have a draft pick in Desmond Ritter, and you already saw him last year. I think you went and got Heineke as a backup. I think Heineke's better.
I would start Heineke just because he's going to give you the best chance to win. Now, if he loses that job, possibly, but I mean, he hasn't shown me anything. He's a game manager to a point. I don't want to compare him to Jimmy Garoppolo. He's nothing like Jimmy in my opinion.
He's not even close.
But he's
a poor game manager.
He's talented enough to play and win you games here and there. He's not going to get you to the playoffs. He's
a backup.
Yes, but I don't know what I have in Desmond Ritter either.
That's why you start Desmond Ritter. That's why I have them both ranked in the same spot.
Okay.
Who do you have at 31?
31. I already said I have Kenny Pickett.
You did. You're right. So at 30, this is another two-parter for me. I got Mac Jones, and it's Mac Jones and Bailey Zapp. Whoever's on that team starting in that position, I
have Will Levis at 30.
I actually don't have Will Levis starting,
Okay.
so he's not even in my rankings. 29, I got Baker Mayfield.
29, I have Sam Darnold.
That's 28. I have Sam Darnold. Do you have Baker?
I have Baker Mayfield.
And that's funny. And I go, and Sam Darnold, just because of the situation that's going on that team, like I had to give him some stats.
Yeah.
So if you got him in fantasy for the first 5-6 weeks, I mean, you might as well utilize him. And he's going to have wide receivers. He's going to have a better team all around compared to, and they protect their quarterback.
You got Chris Godwin. You got Mike Evans. You have who is the guy?
What are you talking about?
With Baker.
Oh, you're talking Baker.
With
Okay.
Baker, yeah. I mean, he's not losing much from. I mean, obviously he has better talent than he had on the Rams.
He has a way better. I think he has the exact same offensive line he had in
Yeah,
Cleveland.
there's no reason that Baker shouldn't be able to win 8
It's
games.
funny
in my
because
opinion,
we both are
with that
sitting here
team.
talking about Baker and Sam Darnold when they played on the same team last year, and obviously everything's a step forward from what Carolina gave them last year,
I mean, Sam Darnold.
weapon-wise.
I don't know. I never liked Sam Darnold. I've never really liked Baker Mayfield, but at the same sense as I feel like Baker's both of them are running out of options.
Sam
This
Darnold
is their
reminds me
last
of
year.
Sam Bradford.
He's just good enough to start.
Just good enough to start, but can't stay healthy to play the game.
Yeah. Which I mean, yeah.
And Sam
100%.
Bradford had like 2 knee surgeries in the entire time in the NFL.
He got one right after I think he signed the big contract with the Rams.
It's ridiculous.
When they were in St. Louis.
So at 27, I have Jacoby Brisket.
I have Zach Wilson.
I don't even have him on my list.
Okay.
I got Aaron Rodgers starting. Oh my God, I even put Jordan Love on the list. That sucks.
Jordan Love's on my list too. Don't worry.
Man, hold on.
He's 26.
You know what? I'll put Jordan Love probably right around that area. I'll agree with you. That would give me 35 rankings for quarterbacks.
You're 36.
No,
You said 35 rankings.
I have 34. Well, I have 34. But Jordan Love would probably be at somewhere around 29. He would actually probably be lower than Baker Mayfield for me. But you like Jordan Love.
Yes. So Jordan Love, like I said, he's 26 for me.
At least someone likes him.
I got Daniel Jones at 26, and it's funny because as I was doing this list, I was like, Daniel Jones just kept sliding for me. I kept going back, and I was like, oh, I forgot a quarterback.
But look at the
and I put him up,
got.
and then I kept sliding down, and I put him up, and then I kept sliding. It was weird. So I got Daniel Jones at.
So what do you view Daniel Jones as? Do you view him as a game manager, kind of like the same you view as Jimmy?
No, I think Daniel Jones is very
Or do you
capable.
think he has more
I think Daniel
that?
Jones is very capable of taking over an offense.
Okay, it's just that he doesn't have the weapons surrounded.
I don't
around
even
him.
know if it's that. It's always been the offensive line for me. I think he's capable of being a pocket passer, but he's forced to run so much, and I don't think his accuracy is high on the run.
Yeah. So people view that. Okay, so Barkley had a really good rushing year. That doesn't mean your offensive line is good.
Usually that means your offensive line's bad.
Yes,
Usually.
because that means your running back has to get out of there and go.
Well,
if you watch the Giants, they did a lot of on the edge.
Well, and there's 2 different types of offensive lines. There's pass protectors and then there's run blockers. Run blockers, like I think we were talking about this a few weeks ago. Run blockers are guys that are good at attacking
And create a gap.
and
Exactly.
and that's what makes a run offense very good. Now, there's guys that struggle on protection, especially with mobile quarterbacks, because they have to keep their feet moving, but they also have to predict where the pocket's going.
Yeah,
and
and
that's
they have
not
to
always
shift.
easy to do.
No.
Yeah, that's not always
Exactly.
easy to do. At 25, I got Kyler Murray.
At 25, I have Jacoby Brissett.
Okay, and I can see that. I do have Jacoby ranked low, but I just think the team around him is bad. High rushing upside playing for his career for Kyler Murray. So, like, he could easily be top 15.
Yes.
If he's healthy all season, he plays all year. But obviously, we know he's not playing the first 4 games. So I think that's already kind of ticks on me. I should have thrown Colt McCoy in this list like I did with Sam Darnold. Well, I should have because, like, Colt McCoy is going to get touches on the ball this year. So, and I don't have him in this list, but he should probably be down there too. Because these are guys, fantasy-wise, that if you need a flex option early on in the season because you got a guy that went down or something happened, Colt McCoy, I would have zero issue starting Colt McCoy.
He's another guy who's like kind of like a Taylor Heineke. He's good enough to start and play.
He's perfect as a
games.
backup. He literally is perfect as a backup.
I mean, I don't want to say he wasn't terrible on the Browns. He was decent.
Right.
But even since then, he's not like you're not expecting him to go and win you games game after game after game. You're just keeping him to keep you competitive.
He got killed on the Browns.
Yeah, because we had no O-line.
The Steelers killed him.
Oh yeah, when they freaking
yeah.
God.
I got Kenny Pickett at 24. Taking in my mind, he'll take a large step forward this year. But the problem is everybody else also took a step forward on my list. So.
I have Ryan Tannehill at 24. Even if I think he's going to be cut. But as of right now, projection-wise, it doesn't look like he's going to be.
It's funny you say that because I am at 22, and I say may lose his job to a draft
That's right.
pick.
Yeah, I think he may. That
to me would be the Will Levis,
Yeah.
kind of there, or Anthony Richardson. I'll slide into that spot.
Yeah, Malik Willis and Ryan Tannehill are right there. I'll put them right there since we're on the same team because Ryan Tannehill may not even start because Malik Willis plays.
There's no way. There's no way if Malik plays, Malik goes right to 32 for me.
Okay.
There's no way. If Malik is the starter, based on what I saw last year, Malik's the worst quarterback in the NFL behind Zach Wilson. Okay. James Harrison killed him. Yeah. Yes, he did.
Yes, I forgot about that play.
Colt McCoy was... Well, actually, he's been very good as a backup. At 23, I have Brock Purdy. But I don't think he'll play until probably week 10.
At 23, I have Kyler Murray, another guy who just relies on his feet too much. He's injured. He doesn't perform for the whole year. It's about eight games, I'd like to say, that he performs for.
So it's funny, me and you have those two apart, and we just don't have him playing the whole year.
No.
But they still make it in the top 20, which is good as a backup quarterback if you're drafting a guy, and you're going to need him on your bye week later in the season. I think both these guys are feasible starters.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're going to get him around week 8 or 9, it all depends on if Purdy's. I think Purdy's not going to start till week 10 because here's how I think San Francisco's going to deal with this situation. They're going to go out because Trey Lance is injured and Brock Purdy's injured. They're going to start Darnold.
I don't even have Purdy or Lance in my top 32 just because I don't think either of them are going to play all year.
And that's understandable.
And that's just how. So I'd probably put them 33, 34.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So let me
explain
what I think is going to happen. I think Darnold's going to start for the first 4 games.
Okay.
There's not going to be a lot of quarterback production because Darnold freaking sucks. What's going to happen is Trey Lance is going to come back fairly healthy. They need to see what they have in Trey Lance. They're going to play Trey Lance 6 games. Dude's going to get injured or he's going to get pulled, and they're going to have to play Brock Purdy because they're going to be in a situation to where they're good enough to make the playoffs because that defense is stout and they have a good run game that they're going to have to find a way to find the best quarterback to play at that position. And Brock Purdy, based on what we saw last year, if healthy and the arm comes back, he's the guy.
My biggest gripe with Brock Purdy as a quarterback fantasy in the NFL is his balls are not. He does not have a strong arm. They're.
I was saying we're talking about his footballs.
Yeah,
right? Not his actual balls. Okay.
His football flutters. If you watch it through the air, it doesn't look like it has a lot of spin on it. It doesn't have a lot of zip.
His balls flutter in the air.
Yes. He does not have zip on the ball, so that's easily interception. Ball hawk guy like a Trayvon Diggs can just go up and get it.
Well, and I even called that in that Dallas game. I said, the nice thing was they have a good enough offensive line that you can do a double move.
Yeah.
But if that team started coming at you, he was screwed. So at 22, I have Tannehill, like I told you. I said he may lose his job to a draft pick. So I would probably, whoever was drafted in that spot, I'd put in that spot. So if it's Will Levis, I'd put there. If it's Anthony Richardson, I'd put him there at 22. But I do have Anthony Richardson higher on the list, so we'll talk about that. Who do you have at 22?
Jordan Love.
All right.
I think regardless.
I can see it.
So
I just can't see Jordan Love being better than Kenny Pickett, and I think that's crazy. Because he has better receivers. They've got a better run. The Steelers are a better game team all the way around.
You sat behind a Hall of Famer for, 3 years? I mean, he's another guy that's, again, going to be good enough to start. He's probably not going to win you any playoff games this year. I see the Packers going 500 right this year.
I think we both said that earlier in the year.
So I mean,
they can make playoffs.
What do you feel, Johnny? Do you think 22? Do you think 22 is too high? I know it's on the higher spectrum for him, but I like Jordan Love. I've liked him.
Should be non-zappy balls.
I mean that's around there. I mean, I would say 20 would be his
Ceiling.
but that would also be closer to the ceiling.
Yeah.
I don't agree that the Steelers have a better offense entirely. I mean, they have obviously their wide receivers minus Pickens has been there for longer, 2, 3, 4 years compared to Watson, Dobbs.
Running back.
rookies.
What are you talking about?
Running back is negligible.
Pickens
I mean,
came
who
in the
knows what
same
year, but
exact
not
year
too-
as Watson.
Well,
You said he's been there longer.
No, I said minus Pickens. Well,
Yeah.
Pickett and Pickens
well, yeah, that's right. Pickens
came
was
in
rookie.
all in the same damn draft.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But
Never mind.
they have Deontay. They have who else do they have other than Deontay? They have Freiermuth for their tight end.
They're way better. You don't even have a tight end.
So I think the Packers are going to take a wide receiver in the first, and in the third, I think they're going to take a tight end.
What? Calvin Austin as their wide receiver 3.
I liked him coming out of
Calvin
Memphis.
Austin ran a 4.32 at the combine.
I really like Calvin Austin
Yeah,
coming out of
and
Memphis.
he also has.
You want to know what's funny?
He's,
But he
riddled,
was
he's
injured.
riddled with hamstring injuries.
All of these guys, everybody in Pittsburgh they're tweeting Calvin Austin. They're showing his combine 2 years ago. I'm talking to people like, I love this kid. He's
I
fast.
like
He's
him
fast. I'm
coming
like,
out, but
hey,
it's not the
Anthony
fast.
Schwartz was on the Browns.
Oh, I'm
and he's
thinking
still on the
Tavon
Browns?
Austin. No, this guy, yeah, he's fast, but
That's all he is. He's fast.
Right.
He's super fast.
He's a
Super fast.
he's a returner. He's like Ray McLeod a couple of years ago when they had him.
such a weird.
He's
name.
Ray
Ray.
Ray.
So
Ray.
at
Come here,
20,
Ray.
at 21, I got Jimmy Garoppolo, game manager with tons of talent around him.
I have the same thing at 21. Another guy who, again,
How do you and I have the exact same shit at 21 and 32?
shooting from the hip, man. It's just how it's gonna go.
Whatever, that's crazy. Well, we're not even going to talk about that one.
So 20, I have.
Now, mind you, in a 12-team league, these guys are feasible backups.
Yeah.
Anybody that's higher than a 24 is a feasible backup. So I'm not trying to say these guys aren't good, but flex option-wise, I would definitely start at Jimmy Garoppolo, hands down, especially with Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow and the kid from the Patriots, Jacoby Myers.
So at 20, I have Mac Jones.
Jacoby's not with them no more.
He just went to the Raiders.
Oh, Raiders. Yes, I thought you said.
I was just
New
talking
England.
about Jimmy Garoppolo and the Raiders.
Okay.
Listen
No,
to me.
yeah.
So at 20, I have Matthew Stafford.
I almost forgot to put him on the list, too.
I don't even have Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi in my 32 either.
That's funny.
Because I don't know.
At
You
20,
don't know who's gonna-
at 20, I have Anthony Richardson. I think no matter where he goes, there's such a huge upside at the rush, because we're talking fantasy,
Yes.
that I think he's going to tend to lean towards what he does best, and that's run the ball. So, 19, I have Matt Stafford, though. Last
Okay.
year, I also preface this with last year in the NFL. I think he's going to go as good as he can do, and he done. He done. That's all I got to say. Who do you have at 19?
19, I'm going to have Derek Carr.
I like how he's going through the list. Where is this list from? Are you just stealing someone else's list?
So why do you have Carr at 19?
Because I don't know
Because
what I'm
that's
gonna,
usually when you can drive.
because I don't know what their wide receiver corps they're going to be healthy. Half the time,
Well, with Drake.
Michael
Drake-
Thomas is going to be healthy.
yeah.
Olave is going to be
stubbed his
healthy.
fucking
No.
toe last year.
Oh,
The dude's
yeah.
a bitch.
Jeez.
He's going to be healthy. He chose to sit out. We
Yeah.
all know this.
So I think that he would be higher than that personally, but again, that's me.
I made it in the cup.
So
I got
Yeah.
I got him higher too.
so 18.
18, I got Dak. I go, he's performed better. He has to perform better than this spot to keep his job in my mind. If he literally wants to win in the NFL and continue to play on this team, Jerry Jones is going to
So where's Cooper Rush on your rankings?
Cooper Rush doesn't even on a team.
I thought you were still with them.
No, he got cut. Did they re-sign him as a backup? They might have re-signed him as a backup now that I think about it. I think they extended him for 1
Yeah,
year.
re-signs with
you're right.
Dallas.
18, I have Daniel Jones.
2-year deal.
I know it's a lot higher than where you have him.
Damn, I got him at 12. I told you, I kept just sliding people
I
above
get
him.
it.
I was
It's hard.
like,
I mean, it's hard. I'm sure
Wait.
you have Kirk Cousins
Hold on.
or
Hold on.
lower
You
than
have,
I do.
you have Daniel Jones at 18.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the rushing upside. I completely get it. I completely
Again, this
get
is
it.
fantasy, so rushing quarterbacks are going to get you more points. I love Derek Carr. I'm a huge Derek Carr fan. Don't get me wrong, but again,
you know he finished 9th last year for fantasy, right?
Yeah.
he has him.
I have him at 26.
Yeah,
I think he's taking a huge step back.
Yeah.
Because I think they're going to try their hardest to go to more of a
it's
run
hard.
offense.
I mean, go. It's really
and
hard.
It's obviously easier to predict a run style offense than.
And I think they're going to try to use him as a pocket passer this year. I don't think they're going to try to utilize his legs and his feet like they have been. They want to keep him healthy. They just paid him.
Yeah.
So I think that changes things. At 17, I got C.J. Stroud. I go first year struggles, but the team will put him in the right situations not to fail.
At 17, I have Geno Smith. I think that team's going to take a big step back because they're going to get film on Geno. I don't think it's going to
You've
work
had
out
film
well.
on Geno. He's 35. He's 34, but whatever.
I don't think Geno's the person that makes up that team. I think it's Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll
It's
runs an
smoke and
offense
mirrors.
that keeps him protected.
It's
Correct.
smoke and mirrors, in my opinion.
At 16, I got Russell Wilson.
Me
and
too.
Are you serious?
That's
What
my
the
next
hell,
guy.
bro? So, and the reason why I have Russell Wilson, and I think this has so much upside. If Russell Wilson get back to Russell, I think there's a potential to be a top 10.
Yes.
But right now, I think this with Sean Payton there, with what they're doing to that offense, I think Russell sits here right at 16. So,
At 15, I have Aaron Rodgers.
I got Tua
Okay.
at 15. No rushing upside. Zero.
That's why I
None,
have
not
Rodgers.
a zip, zilch. And they use the run game towards the end zone, so I think that might be a lot of stealing touchdowns too. 14, I have Geno Smith. Hopefully he'll stay consistent from last year. He had 573 attempts. I see that going down though. I don't see them attempting to pass the ball as much as they did last year.
14, I have Dak Prescott.
I have him at 18. I hate Dak though.
Yeah. I asked Steve. I hate Dak. I hate Dallas. I hate
And Dak
Dallas
is-
as a
Dak
team as
is-
much as anybody.
Dak is the most overrated quarterback
I'm so happy.
in the NFL.
So,
and it's funny because
would
he
you
was the
take
most
Dak?
underrated quarterback coming out of college.
Would you
got-
take Dak or Jared Goff right now?
Oh, I'd take Jared Goff.
You guys-
The problem is Jared
You won't
Goff,
like my
and
rankings.
you know what? Hey, at 13, I have Jared Goff.
He's in my top 10.
Same. Goff isn't. Yeah.
I am at 13. I think you guys are crazy. I think he was a top 10. last
You're
year,
going to
though.
hate my top 10.
I go, but
You're gonna hate my
you know.
12.
You know what I preface
top
this?
12.
You know what I preface Jared Goff with? And it's ironic that I have him at 13. Unlucky 13. Phillip Rivers could be his down year. It could be, man. Like, he's a 50-50 guy. We haven't seen him play consistently.
So what are we at now? 17, 16?
12.
Yeah. So.
We're at 12. Well, 13 is where I was at.
All right.
No.
Yeah, we went from Tua at 15 to Geno at 14
yeah,
to
that's
now
right.
we're at Jared Goff at 13.
Okay.
So who do you have at 13? Your unlucky 13.
13 would be CJ Stroud.
Wow, just killing the kid right off the bat.
Right.
You had him lower.
No, you're
he's-
killing him at the unlucky 13 though.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's just,
I
depending on where he goes. I do not know. I if he goes to the Panthers,
I think it's the same no matter where he goes. I think if he goes to
if he
Houston,
goes-
I think if he goes to the Panthers, it's the exact
if
same.
he goes to Houston, they're drafting Jackson Smith and Jigba, like Steve said. I completely agree with that. You got to get him a wide receiver.
Carolina's going to draft.
if I put someone at 13, it'd probably
They
be
can't.
Lamar.
They don't have another first round pick.
It might trade up. You
They're
never
not, that's
know.
gonna. They're, he's a top 15 guy. There's no way they're getting him back in the
You
top
never
15.
know, bro. You
unless
never
they give up
know.
Brian Burns, and they're not doing that.
You never know. I don't know. They gave up DJ Moore. What the hell?
And
The team-
Christian
the
McCaffrey.
player-
Maybe they'll
they
give
were-
up Terrace Marshall.
The player that they were basing the team around it, building.
Like Steve, he goes, he hates Dak so much.
So 12, I have Tua.
I got Aaron Rodgers at 12.
I have Dak at 12.
I have Tua at 12. If he gets another concussion, he's gonna die.
So what I said here was, though, not much saying he slows down a little bit, but he's also going to a team that plays a defensive
I
game
was
and
just
manages
gonna
the
ask.
clock.
So this is based off of him being with the Jets.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is based off him going to the Jets. He plays with a team that has a defensive game, and they try to bleed the clock out. So I just don't see Aaron Rodgers having the same stats he had the year prior.
Being more of a game manager.
A very good game manager, yes, because he's more accurate than a game manager.
Well, that
but yes,
because
I
you have him
understand.
at 12.
Yeah. Well, because there's high touchdown upside for him.
Right. Well, I'm just saying because game manager normally doesn't mean higher points.
But sometimes when you have a very good defense that puts you in very good field position, that means you will have a better opportunity for touchdowns.
So the main thing is a good game manager with high touchdown upside.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I see. Probably a decrease in yardage, but
Right.
probably more touchdowns.
Okay.
I think 11. What do you have?
At 11,
I have Lamar.
I have Derek Carr.
I have Tua at 11.
So we're one apart.
So at Derek Carr, though, so I said I see an increase in the passing game from 512 is where they passed last year.
Yeah.
Attempts, and this year I see them going to about 600 attempts. I'm
Okay.
leaning on Derek Carr's shoulders. So that's why I have him higher.
If
I don't know if you had him lower because you saw them staying consistent and not.
I do.
Yeah, and that's
Their
fine.
schedule looks a little bit harder than it was last year if you go and look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they were in second place in their division.
So my thing with Tua, for him at 12 for you, 11 at me, and that's probably low as long if he's healthy, then he would be a top 5.
I think
he
that's
was
super-
playing
He can be.
lights
He
out.
I
can
think
be,
that's
100%.
super high for
Given the
where
risk.
for what we haven't seen him throw a ball since.
Given the
So I
risk.
think it's very high at this point.
But that's just our
so
prediction. But
at-
before you go on, Rodgers being a game manager would drive him crazy, Steven. I would agree wholeheartedly.
I don't think so. At 40 or 38 or 39 or whatever.
Rodgers
it is.
would love that though because then he doesn't have to go out every single play and make
It would be a
stellar.
a love-hate thing. He would love it because he's not throwing out his arm as much, and he's getting obviously yardage. He's winning games, all that stuff. But at the same time, he won't because he's still not able to showcase himself.
I don't
being
think
in the
he-
limelight as the villain for the
He
NFL.
showed
That's
himself
not
for
the
how
way
many
he.
years as a
That's
starter.
not really the way he wants to play football at this point. What he wants to do is try to play the game as long as he
Longevity.
can. And if he's doing.
But he
half
can't be the villain if he's not doing much.
But look at what Tom Brady went to. Tom Brady
I
left
told you
him-
this. The NFL makes him the villain because of the stupid COVID shit.
But he likes being the.
No, the NFL likes to make him
He
the villain.
said it on Pat McAfee's podcast that he likes being the
I think
villain.
you're taking
of
it
the
out of
NFL.
context.
So 10, I have Jared Goff, like I said.
I have Kirk Cousins right at 10.
I have Deshaun Watson.
Kirk Cousins is 9.
I have Trevor Lawrence at 9.
I have Josh Allen at 9.
I have Justin Fields at 8.
So the reason why
hold
the reason why I have Josh Allen at 9 is the same reason why you have Daniel Jones later, is because the Bills even said that Daniel Jones or that Josh Allen cannot keep playing the way that he's playing, or else he will hurt himself.
I've said that for the last
I
couple
don't
of
have
years.
Josh Allen in my top 5. You're good.
No.
You don't have to explain that.
No, I mean I have him at 9. I'm just saying.
But before
why.
we go to further, at 9, I have this preface for Trevor Lawrence. I go, could be a top 5, but not sure what his receivers will be like on the field together.
Okay.
Because we don't know if Calvin Ridley's coming back as Calvin Ridley as a number 2.
I think. I don't. Do you think? So do you think Calvin Ridley's going to be the 1 or 2 on that team with Kirk?
I think he's going to have to be the 2 because Kirk's shown that he's capable
I think it's
of
going to
being
be
a number
another
1.
1A, 1B type of thing.
Well,
So he's
Calvin
gonna
really,
be
Calvin
a 2 at
really,
the end of the day,
Calvin
yeah.
really performed well as a number 2 with Julio Jones.
Yeah, that was what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was Julio his last decent year.
Yeah.
So
I have Daniel Jones at my 8.
Ooh.
that's stupid high. I don't.
I
I
get it.
think he'll keep
get
doing it.
I
get
get
it.
it. I
He steals a
understand
lot
it.
of touchdowns.
Yeah, so I'd
I was
Kirk
gonna
at
say.
9. At 8, I have Justin Fields. Just
At 8, I have Josh Allen. So like,
Okay.
I mean, we're all
So
kind
we
of in
had
the
Allen
same.
flip-flopped.
Yeah, we're all kind of in the same situation. And the reason it's funny, my argument for Allen to be this low is I said high turnover rate. That's why he's dropped on this list.
And that would be a big reason too.
Especially if there's not the consistency we were talking about with Stephon Diggs, that's going to get worse, and the chemistry is
Yes.
not going to stay there.
Or if they trade him
you got like
entirely because of his.
Khalil Shakir, Gabe's. Gabe's.
I mean,
gone.
I like Khalil Shakir.
No, Gabe's still there. Isaiah McKenzie.
Isaiah
McKenzie's
McKenzie.
gone.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So now let's get into the mix of
7.
things because we did this last week. At 7, I have Joe Burrow, high pass offense, low rush upside, but last year he had 610 attempts.
So at 7, I have Deshaun Watson.
I have Justin Fields at 7.
Why do you have Deshaun Watson at 7?
I think.
Let me be the.
I don't
asshole.
think he's gonna.
Why do you have him this high on the list?
You have him higher.
No, that's not what I said. I'm trying to be the asshole. Why do you have him this high on the list?
He shows up to games, Ryan, and no. So I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to rely on running as much. So I have him a little bit lower. I think he's going to showcase more his passing because I don't think the Browns are going to
With the Stefanski offense,
with the Stefanski offense.
who's never ever showcased his passing quarterbacks.
But they said they're going to do a more pass-heavy
will see.
offense.
So
We have a new offensive coordinator.
So here's 2 big reasons why
I don't disagree.
I could agree. Yeah, I would agree.
I don't disagree. I'm just trying to.
No, I like it. I like that you're.
One, they got Elijah Moore, a young wide receiver that has exceptional upside.
He has great route running. I think he has greater route running than Amari Cooper.
And Amari,
He's a slot.
Well, so he has Elijah, he has Cooper, he has
David Bell.
Hunt. If hopefully he resigns. But they have David Bell.
If he wants to play football, he's probably gonna have to resign.
He has a lot more weapons around him that are quality. That and or ones that can build compared to David Bell with being a rookie last year. He has the offseason to in the first full year under his belt being in the league. That he
it's a start from scratch.
Exactly.
So
no bullshit. Just let's play football.
But the other point is this is Watson's and Stefanski's make or break year.
I don't think this is.
It's
Watson's.
not Watson's make or break
this
year.
is
Not at all. This
Stefanski's.
is Stefanski's because if Stefanski can't run a pass offense, they're gonna fire him.
Well,
But
I agree
That's
with that.
100%
So-
it. Like, because he has to prove that he can. Like Baker, nothing against Baker. Baker was a passing guy. Like, he wanted to pass. He wanted to showcase who Baker was. He wanted to do RPO. But they did their best to not utilize that because they put all of the receivers in the wrong positions.
Yes.
Like, Odell is not utilized as a downfield guy. We're using him to stretch the field.
Right.
Odell and the Rams showcased it the best. He's used best in the slot, receive, and yards after
But
catch.
the problem is you had Jarvis in the slot.
And
so.
well, yeah, the problem is they both want to play on the same team. And I mean, you could run a West Coast offense with 2 slot receivers. Go look at what right now the Patriots have always done it.
Yep.
But go look at what the Raiders are about to do. They literally went out and got Jacoby Myers, slot receiver,
Right.
and they have Hunter Renfrow, slot receiver, and they have
Down at,
Devontae.
I don't think
Why do you just say stuff?
because I
They
can't.
have Hunter Renfrow.
No, he's a free agent.
He's
Hunter's-
re-signed.
Okay, then he re-signed. My bad.
Oh,
I know he was
okay.
a free agent. But yeah, so
Hunter Renfrow is on that team.
the problem is like you said, that a lot of these teams play these guys out of position just because of they want to put him there. They want to make it work. I think they need to put David Bell in the slot as a Browns right now.
No, David Bell's gonna have a hard time making it on the field. You have
I don't think-
DPJ.
I
You
don't
still have
think he
Donovan
should.
Peoples-Jones.
The problem is DPJ. DPJ. I've heard DPJ, but what has he shown? He hasn't shown anything.
He shows that he's one of the best contested catch receivers in the NFL.
Yes, but the problem is he can't create separation over the middle of the field.
You don't have
Which
to
is
create
why he is
separation
such a
because you're a
contested
contested catcher.
But the problem is it like
I don't need you to create,
Yes,
dude. If
but
you go
you're
look at the
con-
pinpoint accuracy of Deshaun Watson, I don't need separation.
I understand that, but if you're going to have a top contested catcher, wide receiver, then you're putting your you're putting your quarterback in
Give
a hard
him time
spot.
to play with Deshaun.
Let me talk. You're giving your quarterback a hard
Pissing
time
him off
to
now.
play because he's going to be throwing into a coverage where it can get intercepted, and then who's it on? It's not on DPJ anymore. It's on Watson.
Watson doesn't do that.
But that's what DPJ
the
excels in,
history.
so why shouldn't he be on the field?
Go
think
look at the
David Bell should
history
be
of
the
Watson.
three.
Watson will protect the ball better than that. Watson is like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's only turned the ball over
But that's what I'm
9
saying.
times.
David Bell's
in 1 year.
going to be the number 3, not DPJ.
David Bell's not going to be the number 3.
Okay.
That is insanity. And the reason that's
David
insanity
Bell-
is because you have to feature Donovan Peoples-Jones this year because it's a contract year. If you're not going to keep him, you have to sell him. You can't sell him if
I
you
would
don't
have
put him on
traded
the
him
field.
already, personally.
Renfro has a potential out next year. My apologies.
Okay, I thought it
You
was.
should
a free agent.
apologize.
I agree. I agree that I
No,
thought that
we're
he was out
thinking
this
of
year.
He should
who
apologize.
was the guy that just left the Raiders?
Darren Waller?
No,
No.
Mac Hollins.
Matt Collins. That's who we're thinking
Oh.
of as Matt Collins.
So at 6, I got Jalen Hurts. I go, he'll be consistent as last year, if not a little bit better.
At 6, I have Trevor Lawrence.
I
think with the Calvin Ridley, he's only going to build on
You
what
have
he did
Trevor
last
Lawrence
year.
at 6 too?
I have him higher. I have Jared Goff at 6.
No, that's
Okay,
insanity.
I like that. I don't. He can. I
It's
mean,
funny because
you get Jameson Williams.
I
you
said,
Because he has a healthy Jameson.
I said Amon
Williams.
Ra is going to be the number 2 wide receiver, so I can't really.
No,
say
exactly.
much.
Oh, number 2 fantasy?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I love that. I
So-
have him in a lot of my leagues.
Again, that would have to coincide with what you said.
Somewhat, yes.
Yeah.
Technically, he could only throw to 1 wide receiver, and then Jared Goff would suck.
So the reason I have Trevor Lawrence at 6 is he's only going to build on from what he did last year. You get Evan Ingram, your safety valve, back. You gain Calvin Ridley, where he's going to be the 2. I think we agree on that. You still have Christian Kirk.
You have your bell cow.
You got Travis Etienne.
on a second healthy year.
On his
which
second
should
full
help.
year.
Right.
And who's the other wide receiver they had there? That you liked. That was a veteran.
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones.
Yeah, Zay Jones had a great year
I mean,
last
him
year.
as a number 3. That wide receiver core is awesome. The running back's going to be good. You got Evan Ingram at
I
your
forgot
tight
about
end,
Zay Jones.
I don't know if they tagged him or they brought him back on a deal, but I really like. I think
it's a 1 year
Yeah,
deal.
they restructured Kirk and Zay.
Yeah, I
It's
think
a
Evan
1 year deal
Ingram
for Evan
going to
Ingram.
that, they're utilizing how they should have utilized him with the Giants.
I wouldn't be shocked though if they drafted.
So Jacksonville also has JaMychal Hasty backing up Travis
That's right,
Etienne,
yeah.
and they picked up Dearness Johnson. I forgot.
Yeah, Dearness
I
Johnson's
don't
going to
like
help.
JaMychal Hasty. I like the Dearness Johnson
Dearness
because
gonna
that
be the
helps the
number
1-2 punch. Yeah.
Right.
Dearness is going to be the red zone guy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And you know what? I
He's the
said
Jamal,
this. So I
he's
said
the
this
Jamal
from.
Williams. In
I
my
said this
eyes.
from the start. No, he's not that strong.
What, Dearness?
Nowhere near that
Go
strong.
look at him.
Nowhere near that strong.
Oh,
You look at his lower
God.
half; it's thin.
We'll
But
see.
the Dearness thing, like, I hope him success, right? But there's a
Chipotle.
reason. There's a reason that he wasn't successful coming into the NFL.
Well,
The Browns had a very good offensive line. They saw potential, and they utilized the potential to the best of its ability.
You had
Now, I'm
Hunt
hoping
and
that he
Chubb.
grew and learned, right?
you had Hunt and Chubb.
Yeah, but you went out and got Hunt having Dearness. I'm hoping that he grew and learned.
Who's not going to? He's a hometown kid.
I get it, but I'm hoping that he grew and learned, and I'm hoping that he's better in this situation, and I hope he gets his feature. That
he
I
played
have
in the
zero
XFL
issues.
before we got him. I don't know if you knew
No,
that.
he didn't. He was on a fishing boat
He
Who?
played in the XFL.
for what? 3 games?
Who, Dearness?
Dearness was
I don't.
an XFL guy.
I don't think you're right
I
on that.
don't
but I
know.
could be wrong.
But the Browns also have, I think, one of the best, if not the best, running backs core, including practice squad.
Yeah, I mean, between coaching, offensive line, and the running backs, like it's very deep.
Right.
He was in the AAF. Sorry.
That's not the XFL. That's
Same thing. Okay. American whatever. It was AAF Apollos. It's
So-
another football league. That's
it's
not
a
the
semi-pro.
All right.
That
So,
semi-pro never makes it to the pros.
so
He
except
did.
Dearness.
AAF, former AAF.
He was on
Apollo
a
Dearness
fishing
Johnson.
boat when they called him, bro.
So who's your guys' top?
At
number
5, I got Lamar Jackson. I go no matter where he goes, high rushing upside. I
Garbage.
go high rushing upside, but he needs a tight end though.
I have Justin Herbert at 5.
5. I have Josh Allen.
Okay.
And we already explained why we have most of those guys in the positions we have
Right.
them.
Who's number
So
4?
Josh Allen,
Oh.
I don't think the Bills are going to make the playoffs this year. I think he's going to ball. I don't think Diggs are going anywhere, but I don't.
It doesn't stats or stats. I mean,
The Jets are going to win the division.
Well,
the
so-
Jets are Miami. I
so
I have
you're assuming
Buffalo
that Rodgers
finishing
goes-
third. Yes, I have
Goes
Buffalo.
to the Jets. Jets have the number 1 seed.
Who is not assuming Rodgers going to the Jets? Jesus.
So
He's hoping.
so Jets is number 1, and
Miami's
Miami
number-
makes wild card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miami and game difference. One game difference.
Can we hold
Right.
off before? Like, she does a lot of predictions before the draft.
I'm serious. No, it's
That
one
is a
game,
lot of
but
predictions.
Why aren't the lights red
Buffalo's
for
gonna
these
finish-
hot
Yeah,
takes?
that is ridiculous.
All right,
So at
4.
4, I got Justin Fields, high rush upside, better O line, wide receivers, and wide receiver since he was a freshman. So
4. I have Justin Herbert.
Okay. I have Trevor Lawrence.
I like this is so two.
I mean,
two
I
difference
literally,
for me.
I all of those guys in that spot, I don't have an issue with it. And this is like I told you the other day, like 3, Deshaun Watson. I go, give me a 2020 Deshaun, could be first. He was the first overall quarterback in 2020, and if he gives me the exact same stuff, he's going to be first again. And he has the better receiving core.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that at all.
3 would be Jalen Hurts for me.
Patrick Mahomes for me.
There's no way I'm putting Jalen at 3. I get
Where's
it. I
Hurts
get
at?
it. I get it.
Yeah.
I
Where's
get it.
Hurts at for you?
6. He should be. He could be
Okay.
top 5 easily. I just 3 seems high for me. But we're
Rushing
arguing
quarterbacks.
2 positions.
No,
I mean,
I
it's
get-
not a
I
big
get
deal.
it.
Justin Herbert, I got it 2.
No Baker number 1, unless he's in the kitchen baking up some cake.
Wait, no, bro. We already named Baker Mayfield. Hold on, where's he at?
He's not even-
Baker's at 29 for me.
I think Baker was at 29 for me too, or 28.
I think he was at 28 because you
Yeah.
had the other guy at 29.
So,
but
so you have Hurts at 3. You have
I have Herbert at 2. At 3, I have Deshaun Watson.
okay.
Herbert at 2. Who do you got at 2?
My 2 is going to be Joe Burrow.
My 2 is Hurts.
And I don't have an issue with Joe Burrow at 2.
You just put him a little low for me. I like him more than Lamar.
The only reason I have him low is because of there's zero. Well, it's not zero. It's very little rushing upside.
he
Almost
stays
every,
healthy.
but almost every person I have up outside of Justin Herbert, which Justin Herbert threw over 711 attempts last year. That's 100 more attempts than Joe Burrow. That's the reason that
I get
Justin
it.
Herbert has the stats he has. So I find it very hard unless they throw more, which I don't see happening.
So Justin Herbert out of the I think the
Also-
last 4 drafts, he's thrown the most out of any quarterback coming out.
Yeah,
But he's also had the most, one of the most hurt wide
Teams.
receiver
100%.
core.
And he still produced, though. I mean,
But he has Austin Eckler, and that's the problem. Is he throws the ball to Austin
well,
Eckler?
They
more
needed
than
to make Austin a wide receiver.
Well, as we
because
saw,
we just said this
last
today,
year-
actually.
as we saw on
Put
the
him in the
last
slot.
episode, you should go check out that he had 127 targets, 107 catches.
Yeah, he was a top
Right.
15.
So
top
that's
20 wide receiver
127
for targets.
127 out of that 711
So,
targets alone.
Let me
or
just
attempts.
talk about this real quick with Austin Eckler. If I'm the Chargers, I go to Austin Eckler and be like, hey, we want to move you to wide receiver.
Well, hold on. 1 second. Hold on. Patrick Mahomes is our number 1 overall.
Yes.
No.
Okay, just want to clear that.
He's
up.
my
Mahomes
number
was my
one, yeah.
third. Burrow's my number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not talking
So-
to Johnny anymore. He's not allowed to speak on the show
Can
anymore.
I talk about Austin Eckler?
But yeah, so let's jump into the Austin Eckler because we didn't talk about that in the news. Let's so go ahead. Go
So
ahead and say what you're going to
if
say
I'm the
about
Chargers-
Well, preface the statement. What's going on with Eckler?
So Eckler, obviously, he wants to get paid. He doesn't think he's paid enough as a running back. So if I'm
And he's 28.
27, he'll be 28 at season start.
Yeah.
So,
he'll be
if
28.
I'm the Chargers, I go in, hey, we want to offer you a 3-year deal. That's fine. I'll give you $10 million a year.
That's a lot.
But we want you to be a wide receiver. You're no longer going to be a running back. We have no problem paying you 3 years, $30 million.
Wide back.
Yeah.
He's a wide
So-
receiver, but
Yeah,
they
but you're
still
not
utilize him in the
starting at a
backfield.
running back. I'd put him in the slot because
Yeah.
then you have Keenan Allen,
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, and then
Who's
you have
your
him in
running
the
back
slot.
then?
So
and
instead,
then
instead of Joshua Palmer, you would have Eckler.
Not
Sony Michel,
no, it's Isaiah Spiller and
Isaiah Spiller, yeah.
Justin Jackson.
Yeah, Justin.
Which you can draft a running back this year. There's a decent. It's a decent.
And my issue with this, right? Okay, so I love what you're saying because
Joshua Kelly.
Thank you.
Joshua Kelly, yes, what it is. So my issue with what you're saying is that if Austin Eckler wants money, change position. Because you don't get money as a running
Yeah,
back.
but you're not going to get beat up as much. You're not going into a pile.
But he's probably not a route runner either. That's probably why he can't be a wide receiver. He probably is not good in the slot. What Austin Eckler is good at is yards after the catch and coming out of the backfield. That's what he's good at.
You
So,
can still use him over the middle. I mean,
but my point is,
5'10",
why would you
200
spend
pounds.
money in that situation?
because you want to keep him on the team. He is Justin Herbert's safety though.
But
That's what we were just saying.
What did I tell you earlier, Johnny? $6 million was the highest that a running back was paid in the offseason. Why would I go franchise tag a guy who I already have under contract for $6 million?
Austin
The
Eckler?
Chargers, and I don't have to release you. You can sit, but then guess what happens if you sit at 28 years old? You become 29, and no one's going to want to pay you.
Bell, which I understand.
You're worse than Le'Veon Bell because no one's going to pay him. He's going to get $6 million a year until he breaks down.
So
at this point, you might as well just take an extension, like you said. And I don't disagree that maybe taking $10 million next year and maybe at $10 million after that. But I'm not restructuring this year.
So
Because if you get hurt, how does that benefit me?
I get that. I that's a better contract. Hey, we're going to have you play at wide receiver, maybe restructure after the season's over.
So he's only had 3 seasons of top 5
He's got
fantasy stats.
Yeah, he's gotten.
It's been
so
his past
he's-
3 years, I believe, too.
Yeah, he's gotten better and better and better every year.
Past
Essentially.
2 years and then 2019 was.
Oh, yeah, because he was hurt.
Yeah.
Didn't he miss 6
Did you
games
say
or
the past
something?
2 years and then 2019?
Yeah.
This past 3 years.
2022, 2021, and then 2019.
Oh.
2020 he finished 26th in PPR and
Keep that. Why do I
2018.
keep
You're
screwing
wrong.
that? I keep
You're
screwing
wrong.
that up.
Yeah, you do.
COVID
I
fucked
keep
us
screwing
up.
that up.
So, but my thing is if I'm the Chargers, if I truly believed in Joshua Kelly and Isaiah Spiller, assuming I would not draft a running back,
They don't believe in Joshua Kelly, and they didn't really put Spiller on the field at all
unless
last
they
year.
take Bijan at 21.
That's conversations that have been had.
So my thing is if they take Bijan at 21, Eckler's gone. They will trade him.
I don't disagree. I think you paying for both those running backs is kind of stupid as a team, but we've seen every team in this league have 2 stout running backs at one point in time. I don't look at Tony Pollard, look at Zeke, look at Nick Chubb, look at Kareem Hunt, look at Dalvin Cook, look at Alexander Madison.
But
and keep in mind Austin Eckler was undrafted.
Right.
So
And was a compliment to
out of
Melvin
Colorado
Gordon.
State too, I believe, or Colorado.
Western
Just keep
Colorado.
that in mind, though, that's a guy that the value, they made him into something.
Right.
So what's to say that he goes somewhere and does anything
So, I
different?
mean, even if you look at some of the undrafted running backs, Philip Lindsay, he's now in the XFL.
He's in the XFL, yep.
So, I mean, running backs in general don't last long. I've never been a guy to pay running backs.
But you just argued to pay him.
He's not a running back.
As a wide receiver to pay him.
But but here's the thing. Like, you're
I
not,
get it.
the team's not going to go, hey, well, how about this? You transfer positions, I'll pay you more money. They're not going to do that. They're going to be like, hey, I'm going to stay there. I'll just pay you less, and we'll extend you with this amount. I think if Austin Eckler's smart, what he does, he reaches out to the team and says, hey, I want to be a slot receiver. But I don't think he's a route runner. Because you don't see him run routes. A lot of what you see are
underneath.
It's underneath. It's yards after the catch.
And just again,
the back.
So
and the only reason that Debo gets the attention he gets is because he can run routes, but he's also very good in the backfield.
But didn't he also come out and say he doesn't want to be used as a running back?
Right.
Right, but I'm just saying the reason why they utilize him that way is because of his size and his build.
And I think the way they structured his contract
is every time he runs the ball out of the backfield, he gets paid money.
Exactly, which is smart. I mean, that's business. I love that.
So with Debo, he's a wide receiver. He is not a running back trying to play a wide receiver like Eckler. Eckler catches a lot out of the backfield and just very quick.
Both guys do what the team
Do you think
asks
maybe
them to.
Austin Eckler can
They do,
instead
but I could not ask Austin to become a wide receiver or look otherwise to be a wide receiver when he is clearly not.
What about, so let's say this. Let's say he stays at running back, whatever. Let's say he gets incentives every time he catches the ball.
No.
It's a lot of
no,
incentives.
because
let's say
there's
he gets 10
checkdowns.
receptions.
There's checkdowns.
Or receptions over 10 yards.
You would have a minimum. So what you would do is if
Yeah.
you get 100 minimum receptions, we give you a bonus of this.
Yeah, I mean, I
but
could
then
see
again,
doing that.
if
They
I,
use
as
it
a player, I wouldn't sign that contract because then at 99 receptions, you just fucking shed away from me.
Right.
Like there's ways to get around that.
Unless Herbert's like Tom Brady, who purposely forced Gronk back into the game to get that last
Which
catch
I think
for him
Herbert
to get
could
$1
be
million.
that guy, because I mean, when Herbert and Eckler on the field, they shine. Obviously, they're
I agree. They're a tandem.
They're a tandem.
So my thing would only be is if Williams and Allen are healthy. If they're healthy, it's going to make it easier for us.
We'll see. Well, I mean,
he won't be getting 127.
Allen's getting old, so I think Williams will be the number one this year.
Yeah, or
they draft a guy.
We'll see if he comes back from a broken back.
So
that's a lot.
Speaking of draft, would you think that they take Bijan or would they take Zay Flowers at 21?
Chargers?
Yeah.
They'll probably take a defensive guy.
I take Xavier Hutchinson.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. It's one of the things we'll talk about.
I don't think Zay Flowers would flourish in that offense. And personally, I don't think he would. Because you got Mike Williams, he's your physical guy, but he's also got speed. And then you got Josh Palmer, who's another guy. He's kind of built. I think he's right around I think he's 5'10". He's built right around the same size as Zay Flowers. I like Zay Flowers, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he's the right fit for that team. I think he would fit well in Houston.
So Zay is 5'10", 172.
Right. Okay.
So Keenan Allen 6'2", 211, and Mike Williams is 6'4", 218.
Yeah. So, I mean, Mike Williams is kind of the same build, I believe, as Quentin Johnson coming out.
And Josh Palmer is 6'1", 210. So if Zay were to go there, he would be the shortest one, clearly.
Height
so
has nothing to do with your route running abilities.
So it'd be similar to Quentin Johnson.
There was another.
Yeah, let's do let's just do this really quick. We'll do a dynasty rookie mock draft. Do you have that set up on Sleeper at all?
As best as I can.
All right. So let's do a dynasty rookie mock draft, and
you guys can't see it at all because
that's all right. We don't need to see it. So what we'll do is I'll give you the first pick. I'll take the second. We'll give Johnny the third.
Okay.
And then you'll go fourth.
Yeah.
I'll go fifth. Johnny will go sixth.
So obviously number one is going to be Bijan.
That's who you got going.
Yeah. I mean,
and obviously this is a dynasty rookie draft based on rookie players coming into the NFL. We're doing this early just because we don't know where these players are landing on what teams, and that could affect a little bit.
Bijan.
So he's got Bijan going 1 overall. And if that's the case, I'm going to assume JSN is going to a good team that needs him.
Oh.
So I would you have to you have to stop it. So up in the settings, top right of the settings,
I don't have.
There is a draft settings or whatever. You have to stop the draft. But in the draft settings, you can actually put no limit, and then you could select each pick individually. So just reset it. So up in the draft settings, you set the tools, and you put no limit on the pick. You go Dynasty, PPR,
12 team.
team.
No limit. I got you.
Yeah, so when you do no
you
limit,
can turn auto pick off too.
Yeah, there should be no auto. Well, the no limit would automatically essentially.
Oh
turn
yeah,
auto
that's
pick
right.
off.
Sorry.
As soon as you auto pick something, it would screw everything up. So,
All right, let's start.
Bijan at 1, JSN at 2, Jackson Smith and Jigba at 2.
Jeez.
What'd you do?
Because this is just full PPR. This isn't.
There's Dynasty PPR. You want
Rookies
you
only,
didn't
there
look?
we
I was say. Did you get Bijan? This is your first day setting up a mock.
Apparently.
If you scroll up, there's a bubble that says Dynasty PPR.
Well, no, it reset it to 1 minute. So. All right.
You got Bijan at 1,
It'll be Bijan at 1.
JSN at 2.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. That's being stupid. Just
It's not
Very
being
much
stupid.
so.
Johnny's got to turn certain settings on, and every time he goes back in, he doesn't adjust it. And it's all right. I mean, it is what it is.
So
He's
Bijan
learning on the
1.
fly. You can always cut it at the end.
Jackson Smith and Jigba 2.
And Johnny's got 3. That's what I'm waiting on.
Who's your 3, bud?
I don't think he knows.
Well, no,
I
because
think he wants to see
He's
the
not
list.
looking
I think
at
he
me.
wants to see the list.
I'm just trying to figure this out because it just doesn't want to cooperate. Because even though I put PPR, I put no limit and rookies only, it's still given a time limit. Or no, because it's computers picking all the picks.
So don't do the auto pick. You have to claim 1.
Well, yeah, I picked number 1. Oh, here. Let's see if that. Yeah, no limit, but it doesn't give me the option to not let the CPU pick.
I don't know. They
So-
might have changed it.
All right, so I'm just putting
Just-
like 5 minutes, and I'm not letting the CPU pick.
Yeah, no CPU. Well, you could do no limit, but no CPU pick.
It goes away when that happens.
Oh, okay.
So
at 1 again, Bijan. Woo!
or I
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
want start draft.
At 2,
about that?
Jackson Smith and Jigba. All right, Johnny.
At 3, I'm going to select Jahmyr Gibbs.
See, he had to see the list. He just
No,
went down.
no, I knew it was going to be Gibbs. I said it in our group text that it's Bijan, JSN, Gibbs.
All right.
4, I'm taking CJ Stroud. Call me crazy, I know.
Crazy.
Yep.
Well,
Call me maybe.
well, he's already said things with his personal draft, and I'm not going to say that for anyone that follows this channel that he's involved with in that league. But let's just
What are
say
you talking about?
he has said some crazy stuff for his personal fantasy
okay.
league.
I thought you were talking about CJ Stroud. I was like, what does CJ
No,
Stroud
no,
do?
no,
You
no.
know him? What the hell? You making a phone call?
I
What the hell?
fucking wish he'd be on the show if I knew him.
All right, 5.
At 5, I'm going to say...
Addison.
No, I'm going to say Charbonnet here.
Really? It's a little. I don't hate it.
I'm going to say Charbonnet here. It's just running back value because wide receivers are a dime a dozen. You could find them.
So are running backs.
Not the same way, though. They go down. More running backs go down than wide receivers.
I carry a lot more running backs than wide receivers. I think it carries.
Who you got, Johnny, at 6?
I could pull a wheels and say I'm going to screw everything up.
Do it.
You're
Do
going to
it.
take Anthony Richardson?
Yeah, right. But
It's not a bad thing. I mean, if you need a quarterback, Anthony Richardson in the first round wouldn't be bad.
Right.
Especially if you know he's going to start. But do we know he's going to start? That's the question.
So my thing, with other leagues, this is roughly where I'm drafting in multiple leagues. I would either do Jordan Addison depending on where he's going,
Okay.
or I would.
Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers.
It would probably be Josh Downs or
You'd reach that far.
Michael Mayer, just because I know one of my teams I need a tight end. So I'm actually going to pick Michael Mayer.
Okay.
At 6, you got Michael Mayer.
At 7, I'm taking Jordan Addison.
I'm taking Addison at 7. If that's the case, I would take Zay Flowers at 8.
Okay, and then 9, Johnny.
At 9, I would take. At that point, I'd probably take Bryce or Quentin.
That's high.
I'd take Quentin over Bryce.
Yeah, I would
just
take
because
Quentin
of-
over Bryce because just personally, you probably already have a quarterback.
Well, right.
You're
and
taking
that'd
a
be the
risk on a
future.
you're taking a risk on a quarterback in that situation. And based on where you drafted, you probably had a decent season.
So at 10,
What do you got at 10, Wheels?
At 10,
you got Bryce, you got Richardson, Jalen Hyatt. Well, here would be the thing is, what position would you be looking at later in the first?
Well, I would definitely see best running back available, best wide receiver,
Yes.
and best tight end.
I'm thinking Dalton Kincaid.
So
I was
for
thinking about him at 12. That's funny.
Sorry.
so for flex options, you got Jalen Hyatt, Kayshawn Booty, Sean Tucker, Tyjae Spears, Josh
Tajay.
Downs, Kincaid.
I like Kincaid. I like Laporta, but I think right now, where Laporta is going to go, it's going to hurt his value fantasy-wise.
Okay. So I'll put
Oh, for
Kincaid
sure.
there at 11.
I'm going to go Tyjae Spears.
All right.
And
And
the
then-
reason I'm going to do that is because I have a feeling that he's going to have that jump on the scene that Damian Pierce had. I watched that dude's combine, and he is wicked cuts. Wicked cuts.
That's what I like about the kid from Pitt.
Well, yeah, but Abanikanda is going to go later.
So at 12,
Does that piss you off that I know his name like right off the rip?
I know it's Isaiah.
Izzy.
Or
Izzy
Izzy.
Abanikanda. That's
Is he a Banacana? Is
Yeah.
he? All right, 12, Johnny.
Israel
so
Abanikanda. I
at
think.
10, at 12, I would take Jalen Hyatt.
Okay.
All right, that's our first round Mac. We did that Mac. I got I'm
Return of the
jonesing.
Mac.
I got Mac Jones on the mind.
I'm not talking
So to
about
read
him.
through it, Bijan Robinson at 1, Jackson Smith and Jigba at 2, Jameer Gibbs at 3, C.J. Stroud at 4, Zach Charbonnet at 5, Michael Mayer at 6, Jordan Addison at 7, Zay Flowers at 8, Quentin Johnson at 9, Dalton Kincaid at 10, Tyjae Spears at 11, and Jalen Hyatt to round it off at 12.
Woo-wee.
Not too shabby.
All right, I mean, I think that's it for Wednesday's show.
Yeah.
Johnny, give me your takeaways for the day.
Like, subscribe. Please comment. Let us know what we need to do for you guys. If you prefer audio, if you want video, if you you want us to post more often, just let us know anything that you would like for us to improve, change.
I'll get down on my knees and beg. Just tell me what the hell we need to do.
Help us.
We can only do so much without input.
All right, Wheels, takeaways, bro.
We have a Saturday show.
Yes.
Back to Saturdays.
we
We're
are
no longer on Sundays
We are
again.
officially back to Saturdays. Show starts at 8 a.m.
Are we doing 8 on
Or
Saturdays? Or are we
8:30,
doing
sorry.
9?
I would love to do 9, but I just...
We'll
right,
say
9
we'll say 9 because Saturdays we were normally doing 9.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we said 8, but then it slowly got pushed to 8:30, and then it got pushed back to 9. But 9 just makes it easier for me.
Yeah. All right.
Makes it
So
easy.
9 a.m. Eastern Standard
Your
Time, Saturday morning.
Yes.
Be there, be square.
Be there. Be
That's your takeaways for the day?
Yes, sir.
When our show is? All right. Apparently you know nothing else. That's cool.
Woo!
I hate Dak Prescott.
That
And
is,
Lamar
you
Jackson.
always have a hate statement at the end of a show, too.
Yes, I do.
You need to be a little happier.
Stop being so privileged.
All I got to say is thank you guys for out there being in the chat. I appreciate
trying.
it. And I hope that everybody else comes to the show. Please like, share, subscribe. And hopefully you guys do comment. Even if you don't have like the Twitter, try to reach out on our Twitter page and see if you can. It is at the Deep Threats. All of our socials scrolling across the bottom of the screens. So apparently at the top of the screens, I don't know where it's at on my page. But anyways, so if you guys can do that, follow us. We will try to keep you up to date. We do have somebody constantly on Twitter doing updates in the NFL, retweeting and posting what's going on currently live. And then I know that there's a lot of people that the only aspect of watching football is for fantasy. We have zero issues if going in depth on fantasy stats and going into the analytics. We'll sit there and deep dive.
Yes.
None of us care. We love deep diving
Yeah.
and we'll get lost in
Whatever,
stuff.
whatever you guys want, just let us know. We love the input.
But we don't want to stat dump because sometimes that can be monotone and it's
Right.
not something
Yeah.
I want to do.
So- We're
but
trying
if
to keep
that's
it
something you
upbeat.
want to hear, I have zero problems giving it to you guys.
So that could be like an after show type of thing on Rumble. I have all of our socials and our Rumble account in the description on every video. Go follow it as well because eventually we will be posting more and more regularly.
Yeah.
And eventually we will be doing shows on there that we're able to speak more and say things that we might not be able to say on YouTube.
That is correct.
That
Yeah,
is
it's
correct.
correct.
All right. That being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday and we'll see you guys Saturday morning at 9 a.m.
Bye.